Throughout my life, I always heard this one line, that knowledge is power. That knowledge is power, and I believe this for my entire life up until 3 years ago. And today, I do not believe it anymore. I do not believe that knowledge is power. Not when everyone has a genius in their pocket. To me, what is power today is people that are bold, people that are hungry, people that can innovate, people that can fight the status quo. To me, this is power. You know, somebody came up to me a number of months ago and said, your conversation on AI scared me. And I said, that was not my intention. I said, which part of the presentation scared you? She said, you know, you're doing all this stuff that AI can do and showing it. She said, that's part of my job. That's part of my livelihood. And then I asked her a question. I said, how much time have you actually invested in this space? And she said, not much. I played around with ChatGPT. And then I said this to her with peace and love. I said, the reason why you are scared is because you haven't put in the work yet. Every single person I've seen immerse themselves in this technology, actually becomes proficient in the technology, actually builds a muscle around it. Not a single person has ever said that this technology is going to take their job. Every single person that develops a muscle around this always says, oh my God, get me another bot. They become empowered. And my advice to you, if you are scared of this technology, my advice is this. My advice is to work scared until you become scary. Work scared until you become dangerous. Work scared until you become a weapon. This is the most important technology of our lifetime. This is not something that you can outsource to the intern or an agency. This is on every single person in this room to develop a muscle around this. And I know it can be incredibly overwhelming. You know, there's all these AI tools coming out, like, I don't know where to start. And the reality is that it is overwhelming for everyone. I have friends that are at Google, at OpenAI, at Anthropic. It's overwhelming for them too. So my suggestion is this, is, you know when you go to the gym, it can be incredibly overwhelming. When you go there for the first time, you're like, there's all these machines that people are using, you have no idea where to start. Well, you know this already, that it doesn't really matter what machine you use at the gym, it just matters that you start figuring it out and seeing what works for you. And the point of going to the gym is that the first and the fifth and the 500th time that you're there, that these tools, no matter what tool it is, it just becomes lighter in your hand. So my advice is to pick up any tool and just start playing with it. Now, there is one machine, by the way, at the gym that is the best machine. There is actually a machine at the gym that's the best machine, and that's the machine that scans you in. So just start playing and exploring and experimenting in this space.